private about it, you know, kind of helping companies, trying to find ways to create their MVPs faster, validate their ideas so they don't lose money in the future, things like that, you know, whether it's for nonprofits, whether it's for big corporations. You know, I kind of tried to diversify as much as possible. And then this year I thought, you know what if this year could be the year of no code? This could be the year that I can create the most impact. And I identified that very quickly in January. And I was like, okay, let me start off with something. So I created the PlayStation prototype, the complete UI, and then it just exploded. I was like, yes, now the industry is ready.
I've thought of 3 words. I always like to like re-summarize and kind of listen, you know, kind of like express what I've heard. So I've heard you describe your career and your aspiration in terms of freedom, acquiring versatility, like being able to play different instruments or use different tools. And then the last thing I heard was being able to have impact, not only just for yourself, but for other people that you come into contact with. Like you're helping other people have impact too. And for you, like if you're not doing that, like and building versatility and still maintaining your freedom, there's no point.
No point. And I think that's actually very astute. I'm very impressed actually that you would be able to take those 3 words out, because I think you can't be versatile without freedom, and you can't create impact without versatility. It is really a 3-sided pyramid. Really, it is. You know, it's a triangle. You have to have all 3. Yeah. Because impact means being able to problem solve. You have to be versatile to problem solve. You have to be able to look at it from different perspectives. You know, there are designers who say, hey, I only design restaurant websites. That's what I'm good at. Or there are classical musicians I've met, you know, during my musical my journey. And these people say, yeah, I play classical music. I don't compose classical music. I'm like, but if you play it, you can compose it. Like, no, I am only performing other people's classical music. And then I'm like, hey, here's some great music, a sheet of notes I have for you for this one. Can you play this? They can't play it. They're only trained to play classical music. I'm not one of those people. I think that putting yourself in a box is very dangerous. Getting out of that box, especially at a later age in your life, is going to be so difficult. Difficult.
What do you think helps you like get out of the box whenever you find yourself being boxed in? Like, how would you describe that, like feeling of being boxed in and like liberating yourself?
Jumping off a cliff.
Ooh, that's scary for a lot of people.
I know, but it was scary for me. It still is sometimes. I mean, but I've taught myself that almost like a muscle reflex. The moment I feel that I'm getting into a box, jump. Just don't even think about it. Just jump. You'll figure it out. And every time I do that, every time I've done that, I've been successful every single time. Because it forces you to think out of the box. You're literally assembling the plane on the way down that cliff. Yeah. And you're like, this is life or death. And that's why for me, I've realized that I don't actually like staying in one place more than a year. Notice, I've been in Chiang Mai after my trip last year. I was in Armenia last year.
Yeah.
Around June or so, I came back to Thailand. And it's only been like a little over a year. Now I'm going to India. I don't stay in one place. And I've decided that really my environment is not one country. My environment is the world itself.
I love that. I want to dive into no code in a minute, but before we do, I think there are more interesting things about you than no code. And I want to ask you about the range of not projects, but really like the range of businesses that you've been involved in. Because I took a look and there, you know, like I want you to tell it, but like talk about the range of businesses you've been involved in, especially in respect to the different like people that you've been trying to help acquire leverage. I'd really love to hear about that.
Sure. I have been in personally co-founding. It's been a number of businesses. I've usually been, because of the nature of, let's say, building, you know, one-of-a-kind products. That's kind of been my passion. That also stipulates that you also have very strict NDAs. So most of my work, unfortunately, over the years has been under strict NDAs. But that's why with the no code, I can't actually share most of the projects that I build with no code. I had to end up creating Civilization or creating the PlayStation UI or stuff like that, just to kind of like show you popular products that you can build with no code. But I can't actually show a lot of mine. But in terms of businesses, yeah, I mean, I've been in the restaurant business for the last 4 or 5 years, doing a franchise. We're building the first fast fresh chain. So I was like, I want to tackle fast food, completely tackle fast food.
Yeah.
And I want to prove that you can be completely healthy and organic and also be extremely fast and efficient.
Right.
And we did. So in Chiang Mai, it's actually, we already have a business called Wrap Master. And it's basically wraps. And what I've done is I've also combined my knowledge of different cultures. And I said, what if you could combine delicacies from each of these countries and wrap it up? And that concept has worked incredibly well. And also, no one's really doing that today. It's a whole different concept. So Wrap Master, the moment we launched, it took about 3 months, about $10,000, something like that. And I was able to launch an entire business in one of the #1 malls in Chiang Mai 4 or 5 years ago. And now we're expanding to India, we're expanding to Spain, and that fast fresh concept has just gone to another level now. And the rule is that wherever we go, it has to be completely local. All the produce, all of the ingredients have to be locally sourced from the farms, which means no import export. Which means that, and the menu, because the menu itself is not like McDonald's or Burger King, where it's like it's fixed and you have to just ship these frozen goods all around the world. The food can change, the delicacies can change as you go from country to country. What the staple is the wrap itself, our secret recipe, if you will, for the wraps.
Yeah.
And you have that, you're like, oh, this is incredible. Like, so we've had some incredible response from the community. In 3 months, took about 3 months to set it all up. I put all my product design knowledge to it, collaborated with some of the best. And that was actually with a local partner of mine. Shout out to Goff and shout out to Pat here in Chiang Mai. It was just a tiny little truck. And I was like, yeah, forget that. We're going to turn this into a whole different concept. And they're like, Sako, take the lead, do it. And then we turned that into Wrap Master. You can go to wrapmaster.co. You can go check it out there.
Okay.
And the beauty of it is that